Assalamu alaikum. Sabah al khair. Good morning. I wish your conference great success. We need that success more than any other time. As you know, the Palestinians have been the subject of the longest war against any people. 100 years since 1917, wars waged against us by colonial powers, whether it is Britain or Zionism or the United States or those who support them. Our prime achievement in these years is that we emphasized we are the people of Palestine. We have a country called Palestine. It extends from Ras al-Naqura to Rashrash and from Rafah to River Jordan. We are Palestinians, the people of this country. We are not 1/5 of Palestine in the West Bank. We are not 1/5 of the Palestinians. We are 13 million people, and we claim our rights. We have not given up our rights. Well, that achievement is now threatened a great deal which makes us, as they wanted us to be, a group of refugees scattered all over the world. We are not refugees seeking tent, food, or shelter. We are people who are determined to return to our home, Palestine. We have resisted all the wars against us, all the efforts against us, by armed resistance and by people's resistance. We have a great deal of strength in terms of our right, our determination, and we are supported by the international law. One of the greatest tragedies we have suffered in the last 25 years is Oslo. Oslo is worse than Balfour Declaration. It is the first time that the occupier and the occupied sat down together to divide what's left of Palestine among them. Since Oslo, our enemies have increased. We know our traditional enemies, but now we have people who became our enemies from Arabs, and worse still, from Palestinians, who claim to represent us, but who actually have been trying, not successfully so far, to forfeit our inalienable rights. This we must resist very strongly. Every day you see evidence how our rights are forfeited by people who claim us, and how our people, especially in Gaza, are steadfast. They are still on the same road, namely that the right of return is sacred, inalienable, legal, and possible. We have now to stand and to remember that our future, the future of our children, is at stake. You must remember that half the Palestinian people have been born after Oslo, and the Palestinians outside Palestine who have never witnessed any elections in the last 30 years are outside Palestine. Their future is decided by people who do not represent them. The young people who are born after Oslo all over Palestine and outside are 70%. They have at least 50 or 60 or 70 years to live. Their future is decided by people who are on the edge of their grave, not represented by us, not elected by us. We cannot accept that. We have to stand up and say we must be represented, and our demand is in line with the National Charter of Palestine, which we adhere to. We also adhere to the principles of PLO, namely the formation of Palestine National Council, from which we elect a leadership to be responsible for the executive duties of Palestine National Council. We are not a new NGO. We are not a new PLO. But we say clearly that those who sit in the seats of PLO and PNC at the moment, they have no legitimacy anymore. In the West Bank and Gaza, there has been elections in 2006. They have now expired completely. Palestinians in 1948 Palestine have no representation. 6 million Palestinians outside Palestine have no representation. And this cannot be continued. Our job today is to stand up and be counted. All what we want is the true and honest application of the National Charter of Palestine. We are entitled, according to Article 4, every Palestinian is entitled to be represented in PLO and to be represented in Palestine National Council and to elect its leadership. We have to stick to that. I know for sure that many of our adversaries who still like to stay in their seats and who still like to continue cooperation with Zionism and Israel, and those who benefit materially and otherwise from their seats, want to discredit us. I'm sure all of you are intelligent people, honest people, patriotic Palestinians. You know what we want is very clear. We must be represented in Palestine National Council. I urge you to work for the formation of a popular conference in the United States. Its aim primarily is to represent Palestinians in Shatat democratically in the Palestine National Council, and through that we will elect a new leadership. In addition, we hereby declare that we have not authorized any person or party to forfeit our rights in Palestine and to represent us without any true, correct elections. I wish you success and long live Palestine. Thank you very much.